I think we're live. What's up? Freaking mic is under my foot. That's my wah foot. What do we got? We got Coots, BC Rich, Thunder Falcon, Tony, Retro, Chris, String, Larry, Fretless, Yeti Matzi, Deanna, Tony, Vince, Strat CPO, Peter, Calvin, Browns fan. What's up, rock on, bro? Mr. Anderson. Got John Gregory, Mad Tummett, Duck Stick, Suits Lures, Speaker. What's up, bro? Yeah, I'm in it's full on Hendrix mode. What's up, Justin? Michael, Tony, the other Tony. Hit Metal Works. All the crew. Yeah, I gotta trim that. What's up, Coots? Thomas, Calvin, Music Sound Gear. I think he said yeah. I think I said Yeti Matsu. I'm going to say it again just in case. It's that important. Retro Puffer, Andy, Pete, Jimmy P. We got Richard. We got John. We got Steve. Ripley. Yeah, you're the other Tony. It's Calvin. And we got Vimps. We got Jay McKinney, or McKinney. I think that's an M. Looks like an N, but now I'm thinking it's an M. Now I think it's an M and not an N that I thought I saw. Now I think it's an M at the end of my range. That's hard. What's up, Candy? Calvin James. Symmetry. That only took like 4 years to figure that out. SMY tree. Killing the Y / killing floor. That's because they also did it. It's the anniversary of the Strat. The 70th anniversary. So they did They did that tune. Yeah, the great thing is I figured out how to do a wah like right inside of THU, so I didn't have to do an external wah pedal, which I was using for a while. I was using the Friedman, which is a great pedal. It's got like 3 different like crazy modes, but I like sort of the classic one best. This is the Cry Maybe. Lest you be a trademark violation. I do like the wahs. Yeah, we spring forward tonight. It's the, you know, it's that weekend. I suppose that could use a wah too, right? Everything could. Stairway to Heaven. Time to think outside the box. Anyway, how was your week? I had a pretty good week. I had a week of stuff going on. Monday, I hope you're sitting down. The new water meter got put in. Right? That's the kind of content you can expect on this channel. So the water meters we have use a radio, little chipperoo, chippa, and it got put in a long time ago, like when we first moved in, and they go about 20 years. And it got right around like 2019, you know, and they're like, hey, you're going to have to start sending us your water bill if you want an actual reading, or we're going to have to estimate it. And you know what? Letting them estimate it, they look at like your prior usage, and we have a lot of usage. You know, we've been here. So at that point, about 17 years. So they had a lot of, like, they'll take an average of like, what was your July for the last like 3 years or 4 years, right? And they can take an average of that, and they just estimate what you use. But then they couldn't get the meters. Then the pandemic happened, and they're like, well, so like literally on the last day of the month, since before the pandemic, I have been taking a picture of a small card that says our address and the date and the water meter next to it, and sending that photograph to the water company, which is my local town water company. And that's been going on, what, over 5 years now. I'm like, so I finally reached out and said, they said they were getting them in. Then there was supply chain issues. They literally could, you can't get a meter. So They finally got the friggin' meters. And I reached out like at the end of last week and was like, hey, my body is ready. I'm tired of photographing this goddamn meter. Like literally, we're going on like years here. And so when you get the meter in, put me on the list. And they called me like within an hour and said, hey, we actually just got the meters in. We can come like Monday. I'm like, do it. So they showed up Monday morning and put the new meter in, which I thought they had to disconnect it, shut the water off, and disconnect it and put like a new meter in. And the guy was like, oh God, no. He goes, that line is so old. He goes, imagine trying to turn that thing. He goes, oh my, I can just imagine that like breaking off. He goes, oh God, no. He goes, it's modular. And just the part that's the radio part gets pulled out. They put a new like meter in. As long as the inner windings work, they just put a new meter in and they put a new radio up. Boom, done. He was done in like 20 minutes. So I said to him, I said, yeah, I go, I've been taking a picture of my friggin' meter, then getting like actual, like my bill has been showing up. You miss a month here and there. I probably missed a dozen months in the last 5 years. But, it quickly gets reversed once you get the real, they figure it all out once you send in, an actual. And he goes, good thing you did that. He goes, some people are getting a little bit of a very nasty surprise. He goes, because they just went with the estimate for these past, like, literally 5 years. He goes, and they're finding out that they owe $1,000. Some businesses, $5,000, $10,000 in backwater, usage. He goes, it's getting ugly. And I was like, oh my God. Thank God I sent mine in. He's like, yeah, that was smart. He goes, because they estimate a little bit on the low side. He goes, and it just builds up. Because they don't want to owe you money. Which they're probably just doing a friggin' credit. So anyway, that happened in Newton. Yeah, no, it's a friggin', it's a nightmare because they're like, oh yeah, and by the way, you owe us like $1,800. It's like, what? Yeah, it turns out we were way off on our estimate. Oh, really? Be glad you don't have to pay for water in Texas. I will say this, Fast Eddie. The water here is stellar. It is friggin' delicious. My daughter just came home. She was home for the week for spring break. And she was like, the water here is so good. And she goes, it's like so cold. I'm like, yeah, because we're up on a hill. We're not too far from the water tower. So the water hasn't, it's nice and icy cold and delicious. And we're on the Quabbin. So I have to say, and I've been in other towns. God, Woburn, the water was awful. We put a friggin' filter in, and that filter used to just turn the sediment in that friggin' water. That water used to just turn nasty. That filter would just, oh God, gross. And when we lived in Dedham, that water sucked too. They had a chance to go on Quabbin, and they said, no, we'll do our own, and it sucked. Texas water sucks, yeah. When I was out in California, I mistakenly drank some water out of the tap there, and I was like, oh, Christ. Oh my, no wonder bottled water has such a market. Jesus. That's like a it's like a bag of nickels in every in every glass. Yeah, I like to do the Strat once in a while. Although this, the Strat purists would go, it's good to humbucker, man. It'd be like, no, humbucker, bro. Humbucker, no. But I like the humbucker. I make no apologies. I like a, good old rock sound in the bridge. I find the single coils a bit thin. But God, this sound. That's a good sound. That's the nice select Strat. You have the Bing Cherry version. Nice. Yeah, I forget what this is. Like Sienna Burst or some shit. I forget now. Autumnal Caramel Melt Swirl. We need a name, a fancy name. A name that says you just spent a ton of money. Brown, you're fired! What am I using in THU? I am using the Silver Jubilee. A little mid-pushed, wouldn't you say? Sounds like good old rock and roll. Yeah, right? How's the weather been there this week? We had one good day yesterday. It's pretty nice. If we had other good days, I don't remember them. Felt like it rained. We got like a ton of rain. And today's kind of cloudy. And the rain, when I tell you a ton of rain, at one point, the rain, like on the roof, because I have a flat roof in the front and in the back of the house, the rain pounding off that friggin' roof was like just so intense. I was like, this can't be good. It's just like a friggin' whiteout out there. And luckily it didn't last very long, but for a little bit there, it was just insane. And yeah, no water in the SUV. It looks like my little drain cleaning worked, because I think there would have been some moisture in the rugs. Andrew says, this is one of your best sounding guitars. I agree. It's also one of my best playing guitars. Let me tell you a story about this Select Strat. There it was. Being sold for less than it should be. Screaming out for a decent home. I said, select Strat. You're looking pretty cheap. So I gotta buy you right now and throw it on the heap of guitars. The heap of guitars. The giant heap of guitars. It's a love song. Yeah, no, it is. It's a beauty. Definitely a guitar that puts the biggest smile on my face. Are we doing measurements? Jesus. It does, though. No, it is. It's good. It's good. And that's without the hooks, too, which I normally need. It's a good one. Yeah, exactly. You're like a wicked good songwriter. How's your crypto doing? Mine's it's making a comeback. It's trying. I've been sitting on it for forever. Since the since the crypto winter. I should have bought some up because it's been on fire. It's on fire. Crypto's on fire. Friend of mine bought a bunch of Shiba, and it like tanked. He's like, I just took a bath with some Shiba, and I wrote him back, you just got shibbed. And his Shiba was up like, I don't know, like 800% or some shit. It was like, he's doing pretty good if he held on to it. The insert fretboard makes a guitar look like $1 million. Now, I agree. They made a bunch of these. So for the Select series, they did it in 2013 and in 2014. And in the, just like the American, I think it was called the American Standard back then. They didn't transition the names yet to Pro or Pro 2 or any of that stuff, right? It's still like American Standard. And they did a special edition, American Standard channel bound. And you could get a channel bound small headstock. Same with the 2014. The 2014 is a small headstock, not the big one. And it doesn't have, one thing I do like about the Snack is that it pairs well with the oversized mother of pearl dot inlays, right? It's a nice pairing. If you get the 2014 model, those will be not the oversized like those, so a tiny bit smaller, the standard size, and they will be clay, so like kind of like golden yellow, orangey, which is, that's a 60s look, and a small headstock to match, right? Because that would be with the smaller headstock. These, the oversized mother of pearl, that's from the 70s, and so it has the larger 70s headstock. You could also think of this with the binding, kind of like what, a 66? Something like that. In 65, did they do it? Maybe a handful? I don't think so. I forget the exact transition year, but... They have a 2015 American Fender Strat Deluxe HSS. They're good. I like the HSS. I think it's Crypto's on Fire. Yeah, there's a song, right? You know? Yeah, the bound fretboard is great. It's got the channel binding, right? So the fretboard is inlaid into a one-piece maple neck, which gives the appearance of binding, but there really isn't. Not on the sides anyway, only on the front. I have 9s on this Fender. No, I'm going to say 10s. That's feeling 10s. I'm going to say 10s. I'm going 10 on that. How good is that new Pod Express? You know, have you checked out some demos out there? I haven't had it. No, they're not sending one to me. I'm on the do not send list. Whatever you do, don't send one to that dude. But I have to say, I kind of liked a couple of things about it. Number one, the price, right? This is with some add-ons. They goddamn bundles. It's like, stop bundling me, bro. But this is the actual thing, pre-order. And yeah, it's a simple product, and I think that's a great idea, right? So looks like it can do some, some presets, and you can set up the distortion, the mod, everything, and it sort of moves from the least amount of gain to the most amount of gain on the distortion and on the amp, right? In a clockwise motion from like 7 o'clock up to like 5 o'clock, right? On there, right? So you go from boost to overdrive to distort to fuzz. You go from clean to special to chime to dynamic to crunch to heavy to lead. And then mod is just different mods, right? There's no real order there. Chorus, flanger, phaser, tremolo. Reverbs, I gotta think, go from maybe the smallest to the largest, but that doesn't look like it to me. Hall's pretty low on the list there, so I'm assuming space is going to be like atmospheric. And then you got your delays, and it is stereo, so you can do a full-on ping pong in the ching chong. I friggin' love ping pong delays. You're listening to one now. I friggin' love it. I think it adds so much more to the sound, but you can't have the spread too wide. I mean, you can, but if you want the spread too wide, it's a very different sound, right? The closer you bring those two together, the more it'll sound like just like a stereo effect, but with a bit of a spread between the two notes. This one, that's pretty close on. They start to drift apart pretty quickly, though, right? Like the first one's pretty tight, but then they start to get apart from each other very quickly. The closer you keep that spread, the less it will do that. And the more you add in spread, it's like you can get it so that it literally it'll ring one side of both, and then the second and every time after that only out of one ear, because that's how crazy the ping pong is. So all the demos I've heard of it, I thought it sounded pretty damn good, and the price is good, and it uses the Helix innards. So, that's pretty good. I haven't heard too many negatives about it. I think it can take an expression pedal, so you can, right, so guitar in, there's your stereo out. That's a volume pedal, maybe, or some sort of foot switch. Pretty good. Noise gate, tuner, looper. It's got a bunch of crap. Stereo outs. The USB-C, did you see that right there? The old USB-C will act as an audio interface. So, you can go directly in and record directly into a computer. Optional expression pedal, or a couple of foot switches, 7 amp model, 7 cab, 17 effects, ultra portable. There you go. And like I said, it's kind of based on the Helix. It's got HX guts. Oh, pretty good. Yeah, some people don't like that it's not a bean. They're like, that will never be a pod, bro. Because it's not a bean. Only beans are pods. Period. That's how the pod got its name, damn it. Because it looked like a bean pod. But, no. They want to keep it like, you know. They would probably feel that's a little dated. You know, at this point. While we're here, can we go to Fender? Yeah, they're doing the year of the Strats. See, they do their Voodoo Child, Slight Return. It's kind of similar to the guitar I'm playing. Right? A flame top. You know, this has the cream plastics too. Now that's got tortoiseshell. This is a mint green, and I added that. This guitar actually was a bright white, which I didn't care for. I think they actually called it parchment, but man, it looked bright. I think the mint green looks a lot better. Pretty good. Not bad. Alta body, flame maple top, V mod, deep C shape, 9.5-inch radius, rolled fretboard edge, bone nut. Narrow tall frets, 2-point tremolo, cold rolled steel block. Not bad. Can we go back? And yeah. That looks so. Right. So that's kind of an oddball, right? Because it's a rosewood neck with a 2-color sunburst. I mean, normally it's a 3-color when you go with rosewood. Maple would be the 2-color. So that's nice. I have a 2-color, but mine's obviously maple because it's meant to be a 54. Like any of those 50s, 54 to like what 57, all the 2-tone. I don't think the 3-tone comes out to like, what, 60-something. 60-something. Somewhere around there. This is a Playa. Come on, Playa. Very similar, quite frankly, except this has the correct maple fretboard to pair with a 2-tone sunburst. And a 70th player. You know, I'm not a big fan of the Perloid. You know, it just looks modded. I don't ever remember them making a guitar like that. So whenever I see a guitar with the Perloid pickguard like that, it feels like someone took it and modded it. Though it has like, what is that, a Galaxy paint job? Right, where they have those little specks. Can you see that? They have a close-up. We get close-up. Yeah. See that? It's got the red. You could get it. They actually did that on a few custom shops. You get the, I thought they called it like Black Galaxy. It's got the red and the blue, like little micro dots. You remember the red and the blue micro dots, am I right? No? Just me? 70th player. Come on, player. Are you a player? Yeah. right? I think, is this also in the series? Is this part of the new series? I don't know. It's interesting, though. Right, with the pickup config, special pickup config. It's kind of nice. Oh, sure. All right. Anyway, the Grohl was announced. What's up, player? Which I think pretty much looks exactly like, I mean, those of you that know the other guitar, is there any change from the Gibson? Like, is that headstock different? I don't know. It looks the same to me, but I don't have enough experience with the Gibson one to just staring at it, say, oh, no, that's different. That's a bigger headstock, or it's not the right cut, or they're missing out. They're missing something. I don't think so. I think if you put it right next to the Gibson one, I think it's the same thing, right? I mean, me? Because, right, with those cool F-holes. In fact, I don't even think the other one is ebony. I think it's also rosewood. Right? I don't know. It's like, what's the difference other than the... It is different? It's different? No, it is different? All right. So, well, let's just take a good long look at this one. All right? And then maybe what I can do is, can I open this link in a new window? And go to, is there one over here? I guess it would be under, what's it going to be under? Artist collection? Here, artist collection? Trying to think of like, what's the, where am I breadcrumbing this? Or is it custom? It might be custom shop. Yeah, I don't see another page. It might be custom shop. So again, you're getting it's gonna be expensive. Just saying, you're getting custom shop. You call it custom for a reason. Is it in here? No, it's not in there either. Am I in the wrong artist? It's in the artist. It's in the. Where is it? Is it under featured? I must be missing it. Shop all. Come on, I'm just going to shop the whole damn thing. We'll find it. If they have it, it's here. They may not have it right now. Right? Maybe it's sort of a limited edition thing. I don't know. We're on a quest. We're on a quest to find out. I haven't seen it so far. If I've scrolled past it, let me know. I'm looking here. Nothing yet. Every time I see a blue, I'm like, what? What? Alright, I'm thinking it could be around here. If it was going to be anywhere. Oh. I don't. I'm checking back with the Google is your friend. Just do a Google search for it. And so it would be the, so what's the, all right, so let me just do, is it the same number? In other words, if I do Dave Grohl DG335, is it the same thing? Is it a DG335? It's just a Gibson headstock versus an Epiphone headstock? Or is it only... Oh, no, there it is. There's a Gibson. Yeah, there's a Gibson right there. Ooh, this one's got a little worn. Unless this was a, you pay extra for that now. Everybody's got the Epiphone. What we want the Gibson. Epiphone. I knew this was going to happen because we were going to look for it, and everyone's going to have the Epiphone, and no one's going to have the Gibson because the Epiphone is the hot news right now. That's what everyone's talking about. Oh, anyway, there you go. There's one. All right. So let's go back. Let's just use our eyes. All right, and oh, nope, not there. Right there. Nope, not there. Right here. Right there. All right. There. Is it better 1 or 2? And now we're looking at 1, and now 2, and back again 1, and 2, and we're talking $12.99, and we're talking $1,908, and that's after a $5,000 price drop. And better 1 or 2. I don't know. I'm just saying, if there's a difference, it's not beating me over the head. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Looking pretty close. Just saying. I'm just saying. Pretty close. Oh, anyway. Yeah, if it was me, just saying, I'd go with the $12.99, and use that other cash to like buy a car or something. You could buy like a fleet of Mesa Boogie amps. Anyway, that's the new Grohl. Where was that close-up right there? You know who bought one like this? Was Phil X at one of the at the 2018, I think, Dallas Guitar Show. And I almost made a joke saying, like, Gibson endorsement confirmed, ha ha ha. But little did I know, I was onto something. All right. There you go. There you are. Let me check the the chat box here. Remember, when I'm looking at this monitor, I can't look at this monitor. My eyes, they can go like this, but they can't go like that. Headstock looks a little bit different, a little bit simpler on the Epi. Sure, I'd call it close enough. I'd call it close enough for your rock and or roll. What's up, Mark? The second version of the DG did have bound diamonds, okay, right, in the fretboard. Sure. Oh, sure. It's good. I like the diamonds. The diamonds right there. Shine bright like a diamond. Well, that's what I was saying about the, the Firebird. People were pissing and moaning about the price of the Firebird. And so, I think we don't have to guess. We can see what the Firebird goes for. I'm telling you, I think it's up there. If you want the Gibson. Yeah, that's $97.99. That's $87.99. That's a good savings over that other one. I'm saving you. Hey, I saved you $1,000 right there. Just by scrolling up. Sort of I don't think that counts. That's a non. It's a right. No. There you go. $64.99. That's kind of probably your closest one. About $6,500. I don't know that they get much less than that from Gibson. Again, just to compare to the Epi that everyone was harumph, and so forth. Yeah, no, that's it. That's it. Looking around $6,500 if you want the Gibson. Roughly. That's just a rough estimate. Don't forget there'll be taxes. Dave Sweat's put into the paint. You better hope that's sweat. Yannick has a custom shop, Trinity Lopez. That's what he bought. That's what Felix bought, the Trinity Lopez. $559.99. I got to take a ride out there. The best time to score a decent used guitar is in that little window when they can't put it on the national listings. And you can just walk in and just buy it or put a deposit on it. But you can't leave the store with it. You have to wait until the waiting period's over. Is it number 9? Buddy, if you haven't noticed, has been there the whole time. And now we got this big rumpa. That's B, right? Buddy's Posh Spice. That's Baby Spice. Is he still there? Oh yeah, no, he's still there. Oh, you know, Buddy can disappear. Do-do-do-do-do. Who's the mouser on your crew? Well, she's caught a couple. That's not a mouse. And the one who was really a sweetie. She is like the first night that we had them. She was like hiding. Second night, she was trembling and hiding behind curtains, and oh God, she was so frightened. And at like 5 in the morning, it was like kitty alarm. Meow, 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 meow. Like, what is it, girl? You know, Timmy trapped down the well. And, but she had a mouse at the bottom of the stairs, dead. We were like, nice. God, how many are in this place? She had like 2 within a couple of days. And Cutie's gone up to the rafters up here and come down with a mouse in her mouth. I was like, oh my God, you actually got one. She's like, yeah, I'm not listening to nothing. I can hear that. I can hear that son of a bitch running up there. Going after it. Yeah. Trailer's mostly finished. It was finished last fall, but I think I'm going to... I never really sealed the wood. It's covered in a tarp right now. Keep the rain off of it. And that's been working out. But soon it'll be time to get it back going again. Oh my God, we have chipmunks so bad because we used to have, you know, Buzzy and Buffy, and they would catch, especially Buzzy. Oh my God, he was just relentless. He would get those friggin' chipmunks. Just brutal. How many dead chipmunks did we find in the friggin' yard? And the chipmunks now, they really wind the cats up because they run very close to the window. They run by so fast, and the cats are like, rah! Want to kill it so bad. Like the birds and the bird feeder outside the kitchen window. The birds are at the window like, just I get it. Can you ask a tiger not to hunt? Can you ask the wind not to blow? Presses an armadillo. That's crazy. Yeah, so you gotta be southwest. Around here it would be a woodchuck. or a groundhog. They'll rip your yard up. The problem with the chipmunks, even though they're small holes, they tend to build them close to your foundation, and that just lets water run right down the side of your house, right down the side of your foundation. Yeah, it's annoying. Oh yeah, we have voles too, with the little stubby tail, like a shrew. I think that they're poisonous, right? They go after like earthworms and like debilitate them with a poisonous bite. Oh my God, we have bunnies like crazy. Sometimes I walk into the backyard and bunnies are like, "Wah!" Like, Jesus. We got a lot more bunnies now. And I've seen hawks around too. The hawks have noticed. The hawks are like, hey. You go with a little rabbit. All right, venomous. Right, not poisonous. Plants are poisonous. Animals are venomous, right? Oh, unless it's like it's on their back, right? Then it's poisonous, like a frog. It's the delivery, the vehicle. So you guys hear the new Slash album? This is a new Slash album. Where is it? Old Slashy. There it is. Just as long as you're not going to be sophomoric or anything. Orgy of the Damned. What? Okay. Okay. Touche, Slash. Yeah, it's got something going on there. And the first tune is a Killing Floor. You know? With Brian Johnson. And I you know, it doesn't sound like Brian Johnson singing AC/DC, but I haven't heard enough of it to rule out that it is Brian Johnson of AC/DC, because, you know, he sings in very different styles. But anyway, it's coming out, the album's coming out May 17th, 2024. New Slash. Orgy of the Damned. There's a bunch of players on it. I think Joe Bonamassa is on it. And so forth. And others. What else? What else? What else happened this week? Oh, you know what happened? I don't even know if we can see it. Yeah. They're teasing Kurzweil. Oh my God, they just, you know, they used to be the keyboard and they've just like really fallen, but they finally coming out with two new synths. The new 20 series, obviously a 20 with 61 keys and a 20 with 88 keys. And they sort of teased it a little bit with the features. You know, you hope they can do something. I loved my Kurzweil. There was a time when Kurzweil, especially like when You know, when I forget if it was the K2000 or the K2500 came out. I mean, that thing just kicked ass. It's like such an amazing synth. So, you know, you hate to see him go away, but they're trying. Sample playback, virtual analog, FM, and their special KB3, which I think their KB3 is their organ engine, right? Like a B3, Kurzweil B3. A whopping 2 gigs of factory sound. See, this is where they get hurt, right? That should be like friggin', 20 gigs, or quite frankly, 200 gigs. Should have a terabyte friggin' storage in it. It's 2024, man. Come on, man. Get out of the 90s. Yeah. Remember that, Andrew? The K2500. That thing was a beast. It had like a ribbon controller and shit. That thing was great. Sounded amazing too. That thing was fat. It was really good. So, you just hate to see a synth company go away. I just think the more competition, the better. What else? Got a new external Wi-Fi from my mesh link. I use Ubiquiti Unify Wi-Fis. They're friggin' awesome. And you just basically run a one PC as your main controller. It is a bit of a bitch to switch PCs to adopt and move over, but it's just because the security is so tight. But I got a new one. I didn't go Wi-Fi 6 because that shit's expensive right now through Unify, at least for what I wanted, and I wound up going with Wi-Fi 5, which is fine. But the big thing is that it is outdoor water weatherproof, good for indoor/outdoor use. And what I really want to do is extend the Wi-Fi to the backyard. So I'll just run a little cable through the wall and set it up on the side of the house or on the fence or something. I'll find a good spot, and I'll probably put it in a dry spot, because why tempt fate? Just put it in. I have so many little overhangs. I could just cram it under an overhang, and it'll work great, and should work. Should work good, and it should extend my full yard and out to the garage. Which right now, when I go out to the garage, my signal's kind of shaky, and I don't want to, I'd rather use Wi-Fi than mobile data. Look at that, buddy. Buddy's like, who are you talking to? Talking to me? Want me to come over? My God, if my wife walks over to me, like give me a hug, buddy like runs right up. Oh, are we hugging? Are we hugging right now? Is that what we're doing? That cat is thirsty, man. Thirsty. Trying to think what else came out this week. Ableton Live 12 came out. Let me see if I can find that. Yeah. Like literally, Live 12 is out now. So if you go to Live, and I think it's down near the bottom. Yeah, all new features. Let's just go to the list. It mainly seems to be with MIDI transformations. What's so interesting is that they have MIDI generators, but they don't say AI. Probably because it doesn't use it. But that I was shocked that they didn't have something that said the buzzword of 2024, which is AI. I was just shocked that it wasn't mentioned even once, but it wasn't. It's basically MIDI transformations, MIDI generators, a lot of MIDI tools. And if you notice in some of the synths, they're MPE now, which is that MIDI polyphonic expression or something. It's the new polyphonic, and it has extra controls, very expressive. So the MPE is the hot That's why I was just shocked they didn't have AI. I mean, seriously? Could have seen that coming a friggin' mile away. You know, new drums. Yeah, there's a bunch of new packs. There's, you know, new stylings, new mixer, and that's about it. Not here new themes, whatever. But, you know, if you're into Ableton, as a quick tool to lay down tracks, it's probably unparalleled. You know, like GarageBand is probably the closest thing. See you, Justin. Do. I'm still loving the Ace album. I like the Ace album. I don't hate it. You know? Any updates on the friendly handheld game modules? Yeah, here's there's actually been some news on that front. Number one, as you know, there's really two styles. If you've listened to me talk about the handheld gaming consoles that play like 20,000 games, there's really two main types. There's Android-based and Linux-based. It has been my experience that the Linux ones are just a lot easier to handle and get through. Very, very easy and very focused. The Android ones on paper should be stronger and more powerful and do everything better. But they can be a bitch to get going. And because Android is so big and you have to go through the Android store and all that, or you have to try to work around the Android store, which is a little crazy. They're a target for people that don't like emulation, namely Nintendo. So Nintendo sued one of the big emulator companies, Yuzu, and because Yuzu was, and you know, sort of like note to those companies, you shouldn't do this. They were emulating current consoles. They were emulating the Switch, which is a current on-the-market console. It's one thing to emulate something from 25 years ago that's no longer available. You're going to get less blowback from that. But if you start emulating current consoles, yeah, there's going to be, you're going to get some lawyering. And they did. They got a lawsuit and they settled for, I think, $2.3 million or something like that. And they pulled all the Nintendo apps that they had as a way to settle. So that you know, was a lot of news this week. The other thing was on that R36S, which is that's like the cheapest one. I think I paid $36 for it. In like $4 shipping. I think it was to my front door for like $39. We talk about cheap with a 640 by 480 IPS screen. And this one had the analog sticks, which the other one didn't have. The other one only had a D-pad and the buttons. This one has a D-pad, the buttons, and two analog sticks, two full-on analog sticks. And that I found the sort of like repository for the ArcOS updates just for that model. And I actually just updated it. It's actually pretty easy to update it to the latest ArcOS. You do have to go back in and configure a few things, but it's a bit of a, you know, pain in the ass. But the only way around that is if you were able to do an online update. On the Miu Mini Plus, that did have a new update. that I was able to do online, and it just downloaded it and boom, did it. And that had better support for like Pico, and I was able to go on there and scrape a bunch of art. I tell you, the Linux ones, they're less trouble in some ways than the Android ones, which is just, it's all a la carte. Where the Linux ones are, yeah. Now the Android ones, the screens are gorgeous, and it's got a touch screen, and they're very powerful, and they're bigger form factors. There's a lot of reasons that the Android ones are so good, but damn, the Linux ones are just so easy, and they just work. They're like a toaster. You turn it on and it goes. There's something to be said for that, right? There's some value in just being able to use it. I haven't given the Mick Mars album a listen yet. I should throw that on my list for this week. Ableton's great for mashups, yeah. Use it was a better gaming experience than some Switch games. Well, yeah, they now that Switch has been around, the hardware is sort of older. Now you've got this modern hardware, ripping through with a nice lightweight emulator. They might have had better on some, without a doubt. How's the S24 going? I returned it. And it was a mixed bag from what I could read about the new update. Some people said it fixed it. Other people said not really. It still looked a little grainy and hazy, and that's what mine looked like. And I was like, I'll see you next year. Oh, better dwee. No, if it's Too Fast for Love, right? From Too Fast for Love. Were live wires on that album? Yeah. No, is it Killer sound that record to production-wise level. They weren't as aggressive sound. Yeah, they were all over the place. I feel like crew was. Who knows what was going on during those recording sessions? Could take over John 5's place easily. I was learning. He does a whole like opening, you know. Where he shows, he does like a ton of crew tunes, you know. And that's one of them. We have Tony Katane. Did she pass away or no? She did, yeah, I thought so, yeah. Steve 5? No, what number would it have to be? 9? 9? Steve 9? Steve 0 looked like Steve O. Do. I don't really know a ton of 90s songs. Yeah, 2021, she passed away, yeah. I think I got a basketball game. My hockey team won. You know, what with the pucks and the nets and all that. Strat got any SRV in it? With the wah-wah? Very good. the wah-wah. He's throwing up. You gotta do the dynamics. Do you talk at the same volume all the time? No, you don't. This is Shack. This is obviously Shack. Oh, the facial expressions. I majored in facial expressions at Berkeley. Graduated with honors. Waka 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 wow. He he hoo. Guitar Face 101. I was in Guitar Face 403. That's advanced level stuff, bro. Stank Face. You gotta get them all down. You know. I'm surprised at how good I'm playing. It's a panoply. It's a range. Gotta go full range, bro. Exactly. I was AP Guitar Faces when I was in high school, but God, college, it's, you know, they laugh about it, but, you know. It It wasn't until the state shut that course down that, you know, it changed. That was a great cock face? What? 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 Gregory Cockery. I wish I could play like that. Yeah, Hulk Hogan walking down that ramp. Exactly. Yeah, well, you know, if you play a Strat, you got to play Hendrix or Stevie Ray. It's in the agreement you signed when you bought it. Don't make me come over there. Some Gary Moore. Those are great riffs. I remember Gary Moore when he was a rock player. He took a turn right to the blues, and it worked out for him, you know, career-wise. But when I think of Gary Moore, I think of, you know, his stuff with Thin Lizzy, and then he had a solo album, which Shape of Things, was that his? Oh, was that the single? I forget now. But he had an album in the early 80s. It was, there might have been a blues tune on it, but it was primarily a rock album. You know? You ever play slide guitar? No, God, I'm shitty at slide guitar. It's on my to-do list, but admittedly, I'm running out of time. It's an old list. I saw you so many times today. Boo. Yeah, Billy Squier did have some great rock riffs. I don't know a ton of them. Victims of the Future, I think that was the album. Does that have Shape of Things, a cover of Shapes of Things to Come, the Yardbirds tune? April Wine fan? You know, I don't think so because I can't think of one. I'm sure I know a tune if I heard it because there was such a big band, but I can't think of a tune off the top of my head. What effects in THU? Just reverb and delay. Jesus, hold on. Hold on. Jesus. Where is that coming from? You hear that? God. That's what happens when I try to touch something. Where is my rig? Yeah, it's just, well, it's four things. It's the Crybaby, but the Crybaby's off right now. It's a Silver Jubilee into a digital delay and a digital reverb. That's the chain. Exactly. Demonetization City. I'd have to be tuned down a whole step to be what John 5. That was John 5 live. That was live John 5. John 5 live? Live John 5. I must have had it in some window somewhere and it got triggered. Boop doo doo. Yeah, right? Take your whiskey home. Exactly, damn unknown shortcuts. It got turned on somehow. Wow. Celtic Suns game's finally starting. Come on. All right. Could be 3. I was friggin' sneezing my friggin' head off yesterday. There was something in the bird food that I must have sniffed, and I must be allergic to it because I filled the bird feeder with some new food. I have a giant bag of, black sunflower seed. I'm just pouring it in, but the dust comes up. I got a grain of something in there. And oh my God, I was sneezing. My eyes are watering. I'm like, I think I'm allergic to something. Something got in there. It was just itchy, and I couldn't sneeze it out. I couldn't, my eye. Oh my God, full blown like allergic reaction. So, my wife's like, you're probably coming down with something. The next day, completely fine. I'm like, no, I'm telling you, it came on like a ton of bricks, like filling the bird feeder. It was something in that bird feeder mix. There's like a little grain of something in there that did not work. Grain of something. Exactly. I picked a bad week to stop sniffing birdseed. Yeah, a little bit of the bird flu. You're fine. Tell you, we went out to Cheesecake Factory the other day. It was my birthday. We went out and we lived it up. We got drinks and appetizers and giant entrees, and everyone got cheesecake. But goddamn, that was expensive. By the time we were done, dinner for 4, again, with multiple appetizers, multiple alcoholic drinks, and everyone getting cheesecake afterwards, plus entrees, which, quite frankly, a lot of us took home our entrees because we filled up after the appetizers. That meal, dinner for 4, was about $300. Thank you. Surprised you have some birds with so many cats around. Well, we have a bird feeder right out the window. It makes the cats go a little nutty. No, a Cheesecake Factory menu is like just notoriously phone book size. Finally tried Shake Shack, and you were right about the small size of the burgers. Really disappointed. Habit Burger is my new obsession. I friggin' love Habit Burger. I've had nothing but good experiences at Habit Burger. We have like one in all of New England, up in like Wilmington. So again, we loaded up. I'm not saying we didn't. You know what I had for a beer too? Which I was shocked, I tells you. They had the Sam Adams. I was looking at the draft beers, and they had Sam Adams Seasonal. So I asked the guy, I said, what's this Sam Adams Seasonal? And he said Cold Snap, which sounded like a winter lager, right? Cold Snap. That sounds like a dark beer, a winter beer, right? I said, all right, I'll try the Seasonal. It comes out, it's like golden yellow and hazy. I'm like, holy shit, is this an IPA? But I sip it and it's not. I'm like, oh my God, I think this is a wheat beer. And it was. It was like a German wheat beer or like a Belgian wheat, unfiltered. It was really good. It was so good I got a second one, which is rare for me. I usually only get one beer when I go out. I actually got a second one. I thought it was so tasty. That was a good beer. That was really good. Yeah, that's Sam Adams Cold Snap. Delicious. Light. I had notes of grapefruit and coriander. Cold Snap is yummy. Cold Snap is amazing. Yeah, right? I was impressed. I really enjoyed it. I can't remember the last time. Last time I had a beer I liked that much was we were in Cleveland, and I tried the Namaste by, I think it was Was it Dogfish Head or something like that? I forget the beer company, but it was the Namaste, and God, that was a really good beer too. Cold Snap is good. Yeah, I agree. It's Sam Adams was bought out by Anheuser-Busch. I don't know that they were bought out, but I think Anheuser-Busch bottles their beers for them because they could never keep up. They could never, as a small brewery, make the number of beers that they need to produce. They want to be a much larger. They want to be like a small brewery, but put out big numbers, and they try to put those big numbers out. So I think they use them as a brewery, as a bottler. You know, because he had to come out and basically defend it and says, yeah, we could never produce the volume necessary. So they use our recipes. The recipe is the recipe is the recipe. And they have to, you know, they do a test batch. And once they get the recipe down, they just do it in big, you know, bulk. But it's still a, you know, it's still a Sam Adams recipe. But it's definitely a way for them to just produce volume. Yeah, I love a Hefeweizen. I'm not as crazy about like the Pilsners and the really clear beers. They're a little dry, a little champagne-y, right? They're a little too crisp. I like a wetter beer than that. I don't like a really crisp, dry beer. And a lot of those Pilsners tend to be like that. Can't beat a good old Sam Adams Boston Lager. Oh my God, I think I was with my friend Jim. We went to some place. It was like a big, I forget if it was the Yard House or like Texas Roadhouse or something. And they had the Boston Lager on draft. We both got Boston Lagers. And the first thing he said is, oh my God, this beer is fresh, huh? He's like, man, he goes, that's really good. I'm like, oh my God, you could tell. You could just tell it was like really friggin' fresh. It was really good. That Boston Lager was amazing. Really good. You like the amber ales? Yeah. I tend to like the bready stuff, you know, the wheat beers and, you know, things like that. So like a Belgian wheat or, you know, a Hefeweizen or you know, there's a bunch of unfiltered sort of wheat beers out there. The thing about wheat beers is they have a lower bitter factor, right? I forget the scale, but there's a bitterness scale, and they're much lower on the bitterness scale than well, especially like an IPA, which is like particularly bitter. Fritla said, I love brown ales. You know, I didn't even know much about brown ales until I went to Germany and I tried. They had a brown beer. It was sweet. It was really good, caramely, malty. IBU is that the scale, the IBU scale. That's the bitterness scale. International bitterness units. Never cared for IPAs. Well, they're really bright, and they can be very bitter, right? By design. That's what they're trying to do, right? It's a new flavor in town. For a little while, they got IPAs. It was everywhere. I feel like they've finally pulled back from that a little bit. But my God, IPAs just took the friggin' market over like crazy for, you know, feels like a good 5 years. maybe longer, 10 years. You know? It was the Popeye's chicken sandwich of the day, right? Suddenly everyone had a chicken sandwich. Yeah, Taco Bell, you have a chicken sandwich? Sure. Yeah, we got a chicken sandwich, sure. Sipping a double IP as you speak, nice. IPA, yeah. The hoppier the better. I don't have a ton of experience with Guinness. I don't know if I've ever even tried one. But they're dark and syrupy, right? They're a little bit of the darkness. I don't know if I can do the dark beer. Especially if I'm coming from a place where I really like light wheat beers, you know. Left hand nitro milk stout is my hand. See those stouts? I have a friend who's way into those like really heavy stout beers. I don't even know if I've ever tried one. I'm gonna be honest. They had a bacon beer in Germany. It was pretty gross. The first sip was a little novel. And even though they called it bacon beer, what it really smelled like is it had like liquid smoke in it. It was sort of smoked beer. It was pretty disgusting. I mean, sure, one sip. Oh, yeah, that's cool. Interesting. Oh, wow. Yeah, cool. But a bottle of it? Pretty gross. Pretty gross. There's some good red beers out there. You know, there's all kinds of crazy. I tell you, we were at, someone just mentioned Heineken. We were at something with who was it? Warwick Framus, and they put out a little spread, and they had Heinekens. And goddamn, those Heinekens, they were ice cold. Man, they tasted good. Those Heinekens were going down smooth. With chicken fingers or something. I forget what they had there. A little bit of some meat spread. Drank a banana beer lager once. A lot of the tap rooms around here will do that. There's a lot of fruit beers, like a banana lager. I was with Martin Miller. We went out to a restaurant. We had lunch after going on a hike, and we left there. I said, you know, there's a Trillium nearby if you want to get like a crazy like exotic beer. And his girlfriend there, she knew Trillium. She was like, oh, I'd love to go. So we went over to Trillium, and he got like it might have been like a banana, like straw ale or something. I forget the actual thing, but it was yellow, and you could smell the banana. It was, it looked almost like a cream soda. It had such a friggin' thick head on it. It was quite the beer. But I didn't get a beer because I already had one, and I was driving. I didn't want to have two. Remember Schlitz? When you say the original Blue Moon, is that like before? Who owns them now? Coors? Were they bought, or was Blue Moon was Blue Moon bought or with a wholly concocted product of cores, you know, from start to finish. Malt liquor, God, they can be so boozy. I had a barley wine beer one time, and oh my God, it was like 11.4% alcohol by volume. I had one of those. I was like, I hadn't eaten. I was waiting for that buzz to go down. It wouldn't go down. It was time to go home. I get in my car. I'm like, oh my God, dude, you are in trouble. I got down the end of the street, and right across the street was a Burger King. And I went through the Burger King drive-thru, and I got a big Whopper meal. And I swear to God, I got about halfway through that meal, and you could feel the buzz just like ripping out of my body from the food. Food absolutely sobered me up, without a doubt. I ate the whole meal, and I was fine. But I needed that meal to sober me up. Blue Moon was first created at the Sandlot Brewery in Denver, Colorado. Oh, interesting. And then they were just bought up. Schlitz, remember Schlitz? My, what did he do? Like my uncle, he drank, Black Label. He used to drink the Black Label with the little stubby bottles, little stubby brown glass bottles. God, he would drink those like drinking a little keg. Look for that Schlitz malt liquor bowl. Oh, yeah, yeah. Of course, we used to get, if you were really broke, you'd just go buy a case of like Pabst Blue Ribbon. Or, what was the cheap stuff? Like PBR. There were a few brands out there that were like extra cheap. Like, God, I can't think right now. Maybe Falstaff? They might have been one of the cheaper ones. The Narragansett. They're a cheap one, right? Schlitz with Shots, yeah, from Laverne and Shirley. Shots Brewery. Oh my God, Meisterbrow. Yeah, Falstaff. I remember Falstaff being a cheap one too. PBR. There's a few of them out there. Now PBR is a hipster beer. Yeah, my God, things have come full circle. Back then it was a cheapo, right? It's like if you didn't have enough money to buy a case of Budweiser, you got a freaking case of PBR. Then I remember all the light beers coming out in the mid-'70s. God, it was huge ad blitz on TV. And then there was a little run there of the alt beers, right? Like Zima. Yeah, someone get me a Zima. Remember Zima? The hell were we thinking? Genesee Cream Ale. Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, the wine coolers like the Bartles and James. Right? Go get yourself a 4-pack of panty dropper wine coolers. Yeah, take a Zima and a Crystal Pepsi, please. what was the malt liquor that gave you ooh? It's from a movie. Cold Cock. What was the name of the malt liquor? Cold Cock. Was it Cold Cock malt liquor? Cold Cock. Colt 45, yeah. Cave Creek beer? No. No, I remember when I was a kid, we would get like Heineken. You know, the big thing when I was a kid was to get Heffenreffer because they were so much higher alcohol, you get ripped, right? But then they decided that Heffenreffer, oh yes, yeah, Green Death Heffenreffers, yeah. Yeah, Heffenreffer, that's what we would, yeah. You'd get the Heffs if you wanted to just like binge drink for short money. You know. Yeah, Red Dog. God, the Boone's Farm, Strawberry Hill. And, of course, peach schnapps. Or, peppermint schnapps. God, I knew kids who used to drink peppermint schnapps. And then, of course, South Park had to do s'mores schnapps. Like the grossest thing ever. With the delicious taste of s'mores. What's up, Johnny? Sounds like a beer run at my college age, yeah. Oh, God, there used to be an ad in the 90s, you know. And it was, I want to say it was from Michelob. I think Michelob was the brand, or Michelob Light. Could have been Michelob. And it was this dude. He's like, my friend Steve is like all about music, and it like shows this like montage of him playing guitar and writing music and all that stuff. And he's like, when he's not writing music, he's playing music and all this stuff. I'm like, oh, go on. He's like, you know, but, you know, the best times is, you know, when we just get together and, you know, break out the guitars and, you know, a couple of Michelobes. I'm like, and then what happens, bro? I'm like watching this ad in the 90s. I'm going, okay, yeah. Yeah, so you break out the guitars, okay, all right, and then you break out the beers, sure. Get a few beers in you, loosen up a little bit, sure. Then what happens? I think he was basically saying, you know, there was an opportunity to find love. At least it felt like there was a little subtexting going on in that ad. Oh, no. Oh, God, no. In the 90s? Oh, no. There's no kissing. It's all just sort of quietly suggested. There was nothing like that. God, no. They're trying to sell beer, bro. Beer. Yeah, exactly. It was it felt a little Brokeback Brewery. Remember, Brokeback didn't come out for like 10 years later. It's probably like the early 90s, mid 90s. I just never forgot that ad. Because I remember like talking to it. Oh, yeah? And then what? Okay. It sounds like a great night. But yeah, no, back then, no way. They really pushed it light beers. Who remembers the ice beer? You must remember ice beer, right? Because it was a process that created more alcohol by volume, right? The ice brewing process. God, Bud Ice. Everybody had ice. Michelob Ice. Coors Ice. Everyone had the friggin' ice beers for like, I want to say about 2 or 3 years, right? Kind of came and went. Yep, Zima, wine coolers. Oh, yeah. Everything had ice back then, exactly. Remember the ice days? Miller Lite Ice, I swear to God, every single brand, it was the Popeye's chicken sandwich of its day. Someone came out with ice, and every friggin' brand came out with an ice beer. Vanilla Ice, who could forget that? Exactly. Yeah, it was like cold filtered. They had this whole ice thing. Just marketing. They said it had a higher alcohol volume, though. So, alcohol by volume. So, there you go. It is 9:03. Getting all caught up in booze talk here. I'm blowing right past my curfew. Guys, thanks so much for hanging out. I really appreciate it. Super extra special thanks to anyone who contributed, and brofist to my mod squad. Hashtag brofist, hashtag mod squad. I don't know if I saw any mod squatters tonight, but maybe they're just lurking. Anyway, you rock. And I'll see you guys next week. We'll do it all again in a week. And until then, have a wonderful week. And, we'll, thank you, Andy. I learned that from Mystery Science Theater 3000. I was like, what's all with the 07s? But it's the salute. Appreciate it. No, you rock. I'm gonna go see if I can rustle up a little bit of grub from the fridge. I think I get some leftovers up there. I'm looking forward to it. All right, you rock. I'll see you guys in a week. Have a wonderful week. Maybe have a video coming out this week. We'll see. I don't know. It's been busy. Anyway. Thanks for hanging out. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you all in a week. No, you rock. And there you go. All right, guys. Rock on.